So this is part two. This is going to be about breeding behavior and what to look for in your male and female to see if they're ready to breed. So my wife she primarily does all the breeding here for us. She pairs the dragons up. She's the expert breeder, so I'm just gonna go through. She took some videos when she was working, and so there will be a visual to me explaining kind of what's happening and what's going on. So the first question that I get asked a lot is I put my male, and I get a lot of breeding questions, which is why I'm making these videos. But I put my male with my female, and he's doing his thing. He's bobbing around, black bearding, breeding behavior, and he might even bite her neck, and then he just lets go, and that's the end of it. That happens that's probably the thing that I get asked about breeding the most. Like, what's going on? Why isn't a lock happening when I'm seeing this? Because you would think that's breeding behavior. What's going on? So, and the answer is that probably 9 times out of 10, when a breeding does not happen, it's just simply because the female is not ready. The female has to be ready to breed for a successful lock to take place. There's nothing you can do. I mean, sometimes you could have a super aggressive male who will try, but honestly, even in those situations, if she's not ready, she might not be in the right position, or she might not lift her tail. It's probably not going to happen if your female is not ready to breed. So this goes back to what I was saying in the other video. Your female needs to be properly fed. She needs to have a good body condition. She needs to be, 1.5 to 3 years old. It varies greatly because dragons grow at vastly different rates. But she mostly needs to be a good size. And just for a general rule of thumb, that's like 350 to 400 grams. And I don't even like to say that because it's not gospel, and I don't think it should be, but I think it needs to be said as a starting place. I hope that makes sense. But so she needs to be, if you look at the individual, she needs to look like she's ready, and then her body will know she's ready, and then she will be receptive to a male when you introduce the two together. But it's not going to happen if your female's not ready. If you're cutting corners and feeding her oatmeal or whatever, like, she's not going to be ready. Doesn't matter. You pair her with the most aggressive male you have ever seen. Not going to happen. A pair is not going to happen. So your female has to be ready. She's got to be ready to breed. So your female is ready to breed. Now, what signs do you look for? The first sign I would say is probably restlessness. You'll notice that the cage is a bit more messy. She, like what might usually be a decently clean cage is now just like a disaster. Glass surfing, scratching, just a general like restlessness is a sign that female is ready to go find a male for breeding. A male can be ready to breed much sooner, much younger, much smaller than a female. Should he? It's debatable. I would say no. I would say grow the male out and make sure he looks good. But for the sake of this video and the science behind it, a male can be ready to breed small, 5-6 months old, I wouldn't recommend breeding him that age. And it's more so not that age. I would say it's more so probably similar to a female, 1 to 2 years old, younger. They're usually ready younger, and they just will start displaying breeding behavior. You might notice that your loving dragon suddenly hates you, and it's like they reach the sexual maturity, and your dragon doesn't hate you, but they'll get a black beard, they'll start bobbing around, and that's breeding behavior. And so when a male is acting that way, he's ready to go. He can be paired with a female at that point. So in these first 2 videos, you're gonna see females that are ready to breed. They would be very receptive to a male. You can primarily tell that a female is ready to breed because she's not going to do anything. Sometimes, well, when people ask, I've put the male with the female, he's doing his thing, nothing's happening. It's no breeding is happening. A lot of times what gets tagged onto that is that the female, she's arm waving or she's slowly bowing, and these are not signs that she's ready. Those are signs of submission to the male because he's a big, dominant, bad boy male, and she's being submissive to him, but that in no way means that she is ready to breed. In fact, when they are ready, they typically do nothing at all. They sit there and they won't bow, they won't arm wave, they can lift the base of the tail like their back legs, and not their back legs lift, but the base of the tail. It's not like the tip of the tail that gets lifted up, it's the base. It lifts, and that she's ready to breed when she's doing nothing and lifting that tail. She won't fight a male, which females can definitely do. She won't run away. She will be ready to breed with the male. So just as a disclaimer, I don't know if this is going to be at the end or the beginning, probably the beginning before I show these videos, but breeding bearded dragons are pretty rough when it comes to breeding males, which is why we observe the whole time that the male and female are together. But it's rough. The male can be pretty aggressive to the female. They can kind of throw them around a little bit, and they bite. They'll bite the neck. They can bite another part of the body. But this is how it happens in nature, and bearded dragons are very hardy. Their scales are like armor, like they're heavily protected, so I don't think it hurts as much as it might look. But yeah, just as a disclaimer before you watch these, this is how it works. This is how they breed in the wild. some females that might be a little bit more dominant, if they are ready to breed and you maybe put them in with like a lazy male or a male who's like not very fired up yet, or an old dude or whatever, like he's not doing his part, you know, she could even be antagonistic, and I think it's to get the males, it's to get them going. So she could display breeding behavior that a male would display. So she could start bobbing and picking on the male almost. And I feel like that erases everything I just previously said. But what will the way it will play out is you put the female in with the male. He's like not doing much. She will act like the male, be more aggressive, pick on him. She might hit him with her snout, bob, like flare out her beard, and then the male's gonna he will take over that behavior and start displaying that behavior, and then the female will do nothing, like I had said before. So then she would be receptive to that male wanting to breed her. So sometimes with these kinds of females, it's better to use a male who is more dominant and much more willing and ready to breed quick. When my wife is going through the room and checking on females who are ready to breed, basically by their body condition, the last time they've been bred, we look at it. We have a lot of data as well as looking at each individual animal. So a little tip or trick that my wife has learned over the years of doing this is that you can gently pinch the back of your female's neck, and you can even give her a little, just like a little minor shake with your fingers. Gentle, nothing crazy. You can replicate what a male would do and see if she's ready. It's not foolproof, but it is a good trick. That way she doesn't have to always introduce the pair together. She can see if that female seems receptive first before, and we always put our females in with our males. I know throughout this whole video I've probably been getting that flipped around. I've interchanged male and female. We always put our females in with our males. That's his house, that's his cage, that's his domain, that's where he gets his business done. So we put the girls in with the boys. And breeding bearded dragons is different than a lot of other reptiles. They are quick. It's not, we never leave females in with the males. That can be problematic if you did that. We put them together. They either breed or they don't breed, and then we separate them. So that way there's never any fights or anything like that. It's very, we keep a close eye on them the whole time they're together. So yeah, it's just a quick introduction, breed, and then we separate them. So here is a video of my wife pinching the neck, and you can see that the female is ready, and then she pinches the neck of a female that is not ready, and just for visual's sake, she puts the female that's not ready in with the male so that you can see there is a similar reaction to just pinching the neck. So that's a cool little trick that you can try just to see if the female is actually ready without having to put the pair together. My wife does double check when the bearded dragons are breeding that there is an actual copulation taking place, because male bearded dragons are bad about missing. She has I'll hear her from the other side of the room, dang it. The male bearded dragons miss a lot when they're trying to breed, and I think it's normal. So we always try to visually confirm a lock when she always does it. When she's pairing the dragons up, she always gets a visual just to make sure, like, okay, this happened, and then we record that information. And then we can assume we watch that female closely, and we prepare for eggs in 2 to 4 weeks. So I hope this video is helpful. Again, this is probably like the biggest question I get asked is revolved around breeding bearded dragons. So I hope this is helpful and insightful. I hope you learned something. Please leave a comment, like this video, subscribe, and I will be coming out with another video soon.